Week 3, still no bike, still sad, much cry. Hello all of you beautiful little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Choose Your Own Adventure, the weekly medieval themed format where I, the crown jewels of WhatCulture.com, take a list chosen by you, yes you the person who has repeatedly annoyed James Dowes over the last couple of weeks because there's apparently been a very high-pitched noise that's produced by my mixer or interface here that only he and young people can hear, but it's driving him insane. Apologies James, I've switched everything over, new cables, new mic, new recording thing, fingers crossed it works. Yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week, and this week we have none other to thank than Chicken Hound for their suggestion of things that gamers got really annoyed about, but were upon further investigation really stupid things to get annoyed about. I'm talking about the toxic, backwards thinking, hyper-stagnant mindsets that lash out at publishers, developers, and even other fans of the same franchise in order to say that this isn't what they wanted from their video game. And this is the thing, people have every right to be annoyed. It is their product that they have paid for after all, but sometimes, mate, give it up, it's a bit of a stupid thing. This isn't the hill to die on, friend. And that is what we're here to talk about today. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 7 of the dumbest video game controversies. Number 7. The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker's graphics. Now, to say that Nintendo fans are a passionate bunch is kind of like saying that maybe naming a dog Mr. Chompy after it bit 3 kids in a row is a little bit of an insensitive moniker, aka a bit of an understatement. Now, if we're being honest, Nintendo did themselves no favours with this example because a short while before announcing Wind Waker, they had shown off a pre-rendered battle between Link and Ganondorf, which was meant to show off the power of the GameCube. And this led some fans to believe that what they were seeing was actually the next Zelda game playing out in front of them. So when Nintendo turned around and gave us Wind Waker, message boards were sent into a meltdown by fans saying that this look was too childish and for babies. Ironically, while likely crying over their keyboard and then satiating their wounds by going off and eating some mushed pea and apple puree for dinner. The joke is that they're babies. I mean, you can see how this is stupid, right? I mean, look at the Wind Waker, look at it! How could you think that this was a bad art style? It is so full of personality, so vibrant, and so in keeping with the wistful adventure that the Wind Waker tells that it is, dare I say, perfect. But Nintendo had the last laugh though, as it often does, when it came to the HD re-release of Wind Waker, where 100% thanks to its cel-shaded graphics was able to deliver an outstandingly beautiful title with far less work than would have been required had they gone down any other route, and the game received positive praise out the bloody tingle. Let's be honest, the game always looked amazing, and you are kidding yourself if you thought otherwise. Number 6. Rainbows in Diablo 3. Now you have to love it when gamer logic trumps all else. It's like they flip the V's to reality and then slam the door in its face just because it dared to say, that's not how it works in real life, mate. Now, sometimes this can be a good thing, as after all, I'm pretty sure every FPS game would be far less engaging if each bullet you took saw your player out of action for 6 months to a year and then had to go through digital rehab and a psych evaluation to get back into the field. However, sometimes the inverse is true, and gaming logic's pig-headed nature can cause a whole world of trouble for developers just playing by the rules. Case in point, the curious rainbow rage that surrounded Diablo 3 upon its first gameplay release trailers. You see, during the footage, the characters move across an area where mist is rising up from a river below and creates a rainbow, and this sent fans into a complete and utter meltdown. A rainbow in my gothic game about murder, mayhem, and magic? Outrageous! I'm not having it at all. I'm cancelling my pre-order, that'll show 'em. Now, obviously, you can see that this is insane, right? I mean, come on, why are you having a whine about this? Especially as Wyatt Cheng, a person who worked on the game, pointed out that this is what would happen in real life. In fact, so bemused were the team working on the game that this instance actually gave rise to the secret level of Whimsyshire, which is so saturated with colour and cuteness that it's like having love heart sweets rubbed over your eyeballs. Take that, gamers! You'll have your rainbows and you will like it. In fact, it's actually one of the best levels in the game. Number 5, Aloy's air quotes hairy face. Now, I hate to break it to you fellas. In fact, come here, a bit closer. Now, listen, okay? Women, all right, women, they don't actually exist in this kind of permanent hairless state like some sort of weird android, right? They, like any other creature that has follicles, grow hair. Gasp! Egad! Oh gosh! James, we're all calming down now. Calm down. Now, if that seemed overly pedantic, then congratulations, you're not part of the feckless twits who decided to take to social media to complain about how Aloy, the much-loved character from the outstanding Horizon series, had, and again, let me check my notes here, too much hair on her face. Seriously, this is genuinely depressing because it speaks to a collection of people who have become so brainwashed by photoshopped images or the idealized perception of female beauty that the mere sight of vellus hair or peach fuzz on a woman's face is something that they see as an issue. An issue that they feel like they need to tell others about. An issue that they use to call women ugly. An issue that is 100% stupid. What was meant to be a developer showcasing the power of the PS5 and the attention to detail that many had slaved over became a jumbled mess that saw some gamers even airbrush Aloy, apply makeup, change her bone structure, and then parade this around as if it were the true expression of human beauty. Now I know, again, that it might blow your mind, but this, right here, is not a real expression of beauty, in any sense of the word. Get it out.
Hello and welcome to the hardest gaming themes quiz ever.
Oh man.
Josh.
Fortnite.
Oh, Sly Raccoon. Cleary.
Sonic Hedgehog.
Johnston.
Oh.
Tetris.
Oh.
Number 4, SonicFox is added to Skullgirls. Now, for those of you not in the know, when it comes to fighting games, SonicFox is kind of a big deal. Not only do they possess an uncanny ability to pick up almost any fighting game and master it in a matter of rounds, but they have propped up so many esports events that they've become the face of digital brawling for many. So much so that it wasn't actually that much of a surprise when they were offered a cameo spot in the absolute rip-roaring classic Skullgirls. Well, that was unless you were part of the community that for some reason saw the inclusion of an NPC into a background of a stage that had no impact on gameplay whatsoever as something that, let me just check my notes here, ruined the game for them. What? And it only gets worse the further you look into things, as SonicFox's inclusion wasn't actually a huge bombastic statement, it was just one character on a stage that players might not even play on and where SonicFox themselves might not even appear due to the rotation of other characters that cycle out upon stage selection. And yet, this small inclusion was a big problem for some, whose argument probably played out as such. Yes, Your Honor, I am very annoyed indeed that a person that I don't like has been put into the background of a video game. So what I did was I gathered all of my small-minded friends to create mods that remove them from the game. And why are you hitting your gavel so hard? No, why am I being escorted out of the building? I have my rights, my right to be an asshole. And if that's not enough, then maybe ask yourself this. If SonicFox was replaced with a cameo of, I don't know, like John Rambo or Duke Nukem, would you be as annoyed? You'd maybe question what connection the aforementioned fighters have to fighting games, with the answer being none, but their presence would be a curio rather than a point of anger, right? Well, SonicFox bleeds love for the fighting genre. They have been ranked the best player at multiple fighting games, including Skullgirls, and they deserve that spot far more than any other. And if you take out the connection to fighting games out of that argument, what are you actually left with? You're left with the fact that, what? They're a furry, that they're openly gay, the fact that they use the they pronouns. And when you have your argument with those three things as your pillars, well, maybe the fight that you should be really focusing on is one of acceptance and tolerance. Number 3, every Pokemon game starters. Now I know that this will make me sound like a complete old man, but trust me, back when the first wave of Pokemon Frenzy hit, which was when I was back at school, it was the absolute best. The frenzied rush of kids crowding around in groups or trading and battling was unlike anything else, and the cries of joy and pain as pocket monsters bit chunks out of each other was a distilled cacophony of youth. However, this joy always came with an experience that could only be described as a crippling heart attack, because each time you loaded up the game and started a new journey, you were presented with a near impossible choice. Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle. Who do I choose? Who do I choose? They're all so good! And this problem only multiplied with time, as with each new release, another set of starters was offered up to agonize over. Yet, alongside this, another issue began to seep in, that being the lack of creativity that some Poke fans were leveling at Game Freak with each passing generation. And in this current age, we're in this weird situation where we have as many gamers who are agonizing over which one of the 3 starters is going to be their new favorite because it's a near impossible choice for them, as there are another subset of gamers that are there just going, well, I don't like any of them. I hate this. But at the same time, queuing up like a good little wooloo to buy each mainline entry. Well, yeah, we know. You critique it, but you're the first in line, mate. It is bleating without weight through and through, as the biggest detractors of the newest starter set are also often the ones first in line to queue up for the newest title. Number 2, no fingerless gloves in GTA 4. In the current iteration of Grand Theft Auto, customization is king. Everywhere you look, you'll see players rocking tailored suits, bespoke vehicles, and a multitude of personalized weaponry just itching to be unloaded at the nearest NPC. And of course, Rockstar loves every minute detail of these custom builds because likely somewhere along the chain they're making money out of the experience, hence why they keep offering more and more digital drops in order to keep that money train covered in gravy rolling right into their mouths. Ooh, that's going to play havoc with my digestion. And this makes it all the more strange that Rockstar found itself the target of a very specific backlash back when GTA 4 was released, as alongside the usual mumble of parents around the world that let their 13-year-old play a game and then complain that this 18-rated title is too violent for little Jimmy, there was a group of very vocal fans who were utterly pissed at the lack of fingerless gloves being included in the game. Despite the promotional content of the title and even stills within the game showing Nico as wearing some ratty fingerless gloves, the item of clothing could not be purchased in-game, leading some to speculate that it was a clear indication that the game had been downgraded and was, by extension, a piece of trash. You know that classic formula, game minus fingerless gloves equals tire fire. Yes. Over the next few days, forums were set ablaze demanding the gloves make a return, and that the gameplay was somehow affected by their absence. Now, Rockstar isn't exactly known for taking controversy very seriously, especially one as ridiculous as this, so they actually doubled down on the backlash by including shots for the PC trailer of the game with Nico back in his fingerless gloves, and then didn't include them in this build either. You kind of have to applaud their response here, because even though fans were annoyed, they were annoyed about the lack of fingerless gloves. And number 1, Spider-Man's Puddlegate. I think we all knew that this was going to be on the list somewhere, so I thought that we'd give this puddle the primo spot, because even though it was a deep swell of anger from the fan base, their argument was about as flat as a tiny, thin puddle of piss. Puddlegate, the moment that some select few swore off the outstanding Marvel Spider-Man forever, a point in time that barred some off from experiencing one of the most satisfying, brilliantly written and emotional superhero tales ever put to disc, all because they couldn't get over how there were fewer puddles in the final build of the game. Now, to play devil's advocate, graphical downgrades in games have burned players in the past. Therefore, when rumours began circulating that Spider-Man couldn't handle all of that sweet puddle action, many saw this experience as being a bit of a dead duck and cancelled their pre-orders and took to the internet in a huff, no matter the fact that the game had much finer graphical fidelity than the demo that was being shown off before. Still, this was like yelling at a man listening to the sound of his own farts on tape at this point, and the backlash spun on, likely fueled as well by irate non-PlayStation owners who were just salty they didn't get any Spider-Man for tea in the first place, but it all culminated in a rather humorous tweet from the devs who straight up stated, "It's just a change in puddle size, no downgrade at all," which finally silenced the critics, kind of like a splash of cold water to a child that's having a tantrum on the floor. And there we have it, my friends. Those were 7 of the dumbest video game controversies. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below, as well as your suggestions for next week's episode. Big love to you. Thank you very much for watching, and if you'd like to catch up with me on the social medias, you can do so over on Instagram, where it's @RetroJ, but the O is a 0, and you can follow James Dowsey over here. What a lovely sort he is, eh? But you know what, my friend, before I go, I just want to say one thing. Even though we looked today at a lot of dumb things that people got mad about, remember, it's always a smart choice to treat yourself with love and respect, because you deserve that love, you deserve that success, you deserve that happiness. We all do as human beings, and I just want you to go out there and live a healthy and happy life, all right? Big love to you, hope you're doing well, and that you smash your life goals today. I believe in ya. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.